Welcome to Fight Waves. Audio Journeys by Kung Fu Academic. I was like on the top of that room. I was on the top of the list. So I felt like, oh, I'm someone. That's great. And then I moved to Thailand and suddenly I was no one because you come to the room and everyone is like a UFC fighter, a 1FC fighter, whatever fighter, and then there's me. Today I am talking about how it feels when you are among people who are much better than you, but also how it feels when you are among people that are much worse than you, and what you should do about feeling bad or jealous or frustrated when people around you are better, and how actually turn your thinking in the way that will help you instead of crush you. And also join my newsletter so you will know firsthand when there is a new podcast episode or new project or blog post. And also I am starting my Kung Fu online courses soon, so be there. Do you know how they say that if you are the best one in the room, that it doesn't mean that you are so good, but it just means that you are in the wrong room? So that's what I would like to talk about today and think about a little bit, and maybe also give you some tips what I use when I happen to be in the room where I am not at the top, and also some other tips from an author that I read recently. So maybe that will be helpful. So just a story here. When I was training MMA in Hong Kong, it was in a small gym, and there were not too many fighters. Like the gym was like full of people, right? Who would come every day or a few times per week maybe to do some Muay Thai training, mostly to keep fit, lose some weight and stuff. And then also there was like this fighters training, which was like a group of people of us who wanted to fight. And so we were in the preparation. So usually we would go there every day, or I went there every day. And let's say if my MMA class started at, 8 p.m., because in Hong Kong, the training was like usually quite late until like 11. That was quite normal. So the training was starting at, what did I say, 8 p.m. Then let's say if I'm not there by 7 or by 6, then I was already late, because it was expected that I will come and I will do some like my own training, solo training. Because remember, now I train twice per day here in Thailand and during the daytime, because that's kind of like my job. People here who train, they're either like sponsor fighters, or they live from the fight purse, or if they have some kind of job, usually it's like their own business or something like part-time like me. So usually by 6 p.m. I'm done here. But in Hong Kong, it was different. So there I had to fit like the entire volume of like what I'm doing now, those two trainings in the morning and afternoon, into one like session in the evening. So it was like a long session. So I was there for a few hours, and I did some preparation for like hour or two on the back, on some other like conditioning and some drills, and then we had the class. And so people would come and go into the fighters team, depending like if they had a fight or not, but also because it was tough to be there, right? Because not everyone is able to endure it. It was frustrating and it was tiring, it was painful. I remember the first time I learned how to do a proper knee in the back, like a Muay Thai knee. I had to do 700 or 800, like in that session, and my knee was all blue, and it was terrible. Now it's my favorite story, and I really like to knee now. Yeah, so at some times I was like the only person in the fight team, because the other guys, they just disappeared, or they were just not training. They had like busy life with their job, or I don't know, wife or something happened. Life got in the way. So it was just me, and that kind of felt good, like I was like on the top of that room. I was on the top of the list on the team. So I thought like, oh, I'm someone. That's great. And then I moved to Thailand, and suddenly I was no one, because you come to the room and everyone is like a UFC fighter, a ONE FC fighter, whatever fighter, and then there's me, and I'm like what am I gonna do here? Like, I'm the smallest potato in the room, and it's really hard, or maybe I should say it's really easy to look around and feel like you don't belong, or you're never gonna be such like good athlete as the other people around you, or that maybe you shouldn't be there, or maybe you start to feel frustrated or jealous, or all these like other emotions that get in the way, and they are not really helpful, because it doesn't get you anywhere, right? So I realized that, and I try to think about what can I do about it, like what can I do to switch my thinking so it's actually working for me and not against me, because this situation is already hard. I shouldn't make it harder for me by like my thoughts. So one of the things I did is every time I meet someone who is better than me, and I start to feel that I am a loser, or start to feel jealous, or start to feel afraid, or I don't know, any kind of like these emotions that are not really like taking me anywhere, then I look at the person and I think, okay, so what do we have in common? What is it that I can build on? Like, what is this person doing that I'm like also on the way? Let's say, for example, like I'm trying to think what I'm good at. See, this is still the part of like process that I'm trying to work on to like, I can tell you what I'm working on, but what am I good at? So let's say that I focus on my jab. I really like my jab. I mean, most of the time I like my jab, and sometimes it's really like a big weapon of myself. So I maybe meet someone and this person is like really good boxer or whatever, like really good fighter. And when I analyze like her or his game, I realize, oh, this person is like relying on jab a lot. So this is something we have in common. So I can like watch exactly how does this person do it? What does this person do? How does he or she use it? How do they time it? How do they use it as like a setup for something else? Or how does their like jab look like? How can I improve mine so it gets more like theirs? And things like that. And second thing I like to do is, instead of comparing myself to this person, which is like really easy and it's probably the first thing to do, or first thing that happened to you, right? So I realize that, I stop myself, and then instead I start to, I try to compare myself with me a year ago. And I'm like, okay, but let's say, I don't know, my left kick sucks, but think about a year ago. How was it? Like, do you see the improvement that you did over that year? Like how much you grew? And this kind of information and this kind of like mindset is so much more useful to you, or making you good, or taking you somewhere, than just like think about, well, I'm not as good as this like UFC champion. Well, no shit, of course you're not, but like you're much better than you were a year ago, and you are on the way, and this is the process, and this is what takes you somewhere eventually. And now let me bring in also some ideas from another author, or an author of a book, and like some other content that I find really helpful. The book is called Be Seen. It's from Jed Gottlieb. I'm gonna put the link in the text below in the bio of this podcast. And I really recommend this book, or listen to her podcast, and like what she does and the stories she tells. Because if you are a martial arts a person, if you are an athlete, if you are a warrior, if you are doing any kind of performance, or you're just trying to be a better person, this is something really helpful. And she's saying, Jen Gottlieb is saying that if you are in this kind of situation, that you are starting to be like jealous, there are two things that you can do. And one is first realize that this feeling, it's not necessary like you shouldn't feel like oh, I'm a bad person because I feel jealous, but instead think of it as it's something showing you what you desire. So like if I am looking up to this person, or like feeling oh, this is supposed to be me, then it tells me, oh, this is what I really want. And the second thing is, this is what we are a little bit similar, like me and her. She said that you should look at this person and see what steps they took to like come to this outcome. And those are the steps that you need to replicate. So basically this person is like helping you out because they are showing you what they did and showing you what you need to do to reach the same or similar goal. And it's easy to say, but those steps are probably not going to be easy because otherwise everyone will be doing that, right? So even as a Kung Fu coach, I experienced this quite a lot. I had lots of like kids or adults coming to my session and they told me, oh, I would like to teach Kung Fu one day, or I would like to be a world champion. I was like, yeah, sure, but can you keep showing up? Are you able to, sustain all this like hard work? Because it's not gonna be easy for sure, because they did something difficult to be where they are, but it doesn't mean that it's impossible. And now you know what you need to do thanks to these people. So it's actually great that you found them, and your feeling of like jealous or feeling that you are something less in their like next to them, that's actually like showing you who you should follow, or that you really, or what you really want, what you really desire. So again, I really recommend Jen's work, and check out the link, and check out also the room you are in. If you feel constantly challenged and that you need to work really hard for what you want, you are in the right room. But remember, you need both of the rooms so you can grow. You cannot just like push yourself down. You need people that are better than you, but you also need people that are worse than you. So you can try things, you can see what works for you, you can try things with, let's say if inspiring, you can try to do stuff with less resistance or be more technical. Then with people on your level, you can really like test things out. And then from people who are better than you, you will learn stuff. So make sure that you actually have the access to both of these rooms, because you need them both. You cannot be too hard on yourself, but also you cannot have this too easy. So hopefully that helps. Let me know. And also come grab your spot on the newsletter list, so you will know when there is a new blog post, or when there is a new project, when there is a new podcast episode. And also I'm about to start my online courses soon, and I'm thinking it's gonna be very different from like typical online sport or fitness courses. So I would like to make it really very special. And the way of how I'm thinking about it now would not let me take up more than just a handful of students. So if you would like to know about this when it's coming out, also please grab your spot on the newsletter. Link is below, and I see you next time. Thank you for listening. Bye.